Hello. So in this chapter, I want to talk about modeling POIs, or a point of interest. So these are basically the big, unique buildings that you can't really make out of modular pieces, like not in the traditional way. So the best example on the Spanish town is the church. So this is one building that I like. What would be the point of making this modular, right? Like, what would I be saving by trying to break this up into chunks? Like, it wouldn't make much sense. So for that reason, I made it a unique piece, but I still used some modularity inside when building this. So let me show you how I broke this up. First, I have the facade here. So this is a big symmetrical piece, but like, as I was saying, like, there was no point in making this modular. Like, I'm not gonna reuse this somewhere else, and like really it would create a lot of work to make this unique. So I have the facade here, and then I have the door, and the door I separated because it uses a unique material. So this door, I modeled the shapes like this, and then I finished the texture in Substance Painter. I made a unique texture for this. So the door is more like a prop. I separated because it adds an extra draw call by being together with the rest of the environment. And since the texture is used only where, like there, I like to separate things in that way. Next, we have the body, which is just the shell, like, behind. I even have a gap here. Just a shell behind, like this. And because I'm baking the lighting, I don't need as much resolution on this piece as I need on the facade. So that's another reason to break it up too, because since it's going to be behind, I can put a very low light map resolution in that piece, and then put more resolution in the facade. And then next, we have the side. So the side, I'm actually mirroring on the other side. So in Engine, I exported only one side, and then I use a negative scale on the other side. So I only have to make it once. And if you notice, like, even though this is a unique piece, I still build it sort of in a modular way. So I have these windows that I reuse it everywhere. I just made one window and then I was copy pasting. Same for the trim set here. I actually created a modular kit for this. I made a one segment, and then I was copy pasting and then scaling, and I used the same one here. So instead of making a unique geometry and unwrapping everywhere, I just made a chunk, and then I was copy pasting around and using it. So same trim here. So you see, like, even though it's a unique piece, I still build it in sort of a modular way. The same trim here, I use it everywhere. The same chunk. But this is when you get to the finalization. I just want to show you how it's gonna be in the end, right? Like, you don't have to worry about this for now. But look around your environment and see what kind of architecture is going to be a unique building like this, as opposed to the previous reusable toppers we made and the modular kits. And just work smartly when you make a unique piece. Just break it up in a logical manner, that's gonna save you time later on. And before I go, a very important aspect here is, if you notice, like, all the pieces, they have the same pivot point. So when I drag and drop this in Unreal, I can just copy paste the coordinates, and I know the pieces are all gonna match perfectly. And if you're exporting pieces with a different pivots, you're gonna have to move the pieces in Unreal, and that doesn't make sense, like, since they're meant to be used together. And you might be wondering, like, what the hell is up with this gap here? So this gap I just built in the engine using modular pieces that I have already. So I used the ramp and the stairs. Let me show that real quick here. So this is how the church is gonna look like in the end, after I do all the finalization. Like, don't worry about texture now. I just want to show you how it's gonna look like in the end. So that gap that I showed you, I just built in editor using the pieces that I have already. Like, why would I make a unique stair? Like, unless you really have to, you can mix and match stuff. So I just made sure that this opening had a grid friendly resolution size. So you see, like, I used it like a floor piece here, the stair and the stair sides, and I built that. And then I placed the decals. This is finalization, don't worry about this. Like decals here, like all this stuff I do in the end, you know, like I don't do when I'm building it. And then you can place props on top. So those props were made separately. But I think this is a great example of how to make unique buildings, but they are still sort of modular. You use whatever is best of both worlds. Like, for example, all these guys, they're just reusable, right? Like we did them before. So just a reusable shell, but then I customize them by putting doors and stuff on top. But the whole map was built out of those toppers. Like, this is all reusable. But you're still gonna need some unique stuff that is not gonna be reused. I'm not gonna use this church anywhere else. But you can still build those in a modular way, and you should modularize as much as possible, but inside the modeling editor. Like, no point in like, for example, I could break this up into a modular chunk, and unless I would reuse this somewhere else, like, what would be the point? You know, like, what would I be gaining? Like, you're just getting more work, because then you have to place each piece, you know? So yeah, keep it simple, and go around your environment and see what is going to be unique, and how you can build that in an efficient and easy way.